Hello and good morning, everyone. Good to have you here. Hello, Annika. Thank you so much for I'm keeping an eye on chat today, not only on YouTube but also on Behance. So if I'm looking off to the side, you'll know why. And let me know if audio and video is coming in good, because I'm kind of running the show here, acting like I know what I'm doing, which is just a ridiculous idea. So yeah, I want to welcome everybody. Yes, everything good, Annika? Just let me know. That'd be awesome. We're going to create some fun logo design ideas, kind of walk through that process. I think it's going to be really fun. I have at least a fun project that we will be working on. Fantastic. All right, so let me know if anything changes, but we're going to go ahead and dive right into this right now. And again, I'm glad you guys are joining me this fine Friday. I got my Phil's coffee, which is just the best here in the Bay Area. It's fantastic. And yeah, this is going to be good. So Frank, buddy, really appreciate you too, man, always. Nice to be with my people. I love it. So this is the project. You probably all know about, sort of like hardcore rock, etc. Hardcore. We're not going to do hardcore because honestly, I'm not hardcore. I wish I was. I wish I could sport a leather jacket, just like a cool like motorcycle leather jacket, but I just can't. So the plan is to make a medium, and the name might be up for debate, but a medium core, and let's type it all out, electric bike gang. So that's the project. That's the idea. Medium core electric bike gang. So this will be a logo, word mark, could become like a tattoo, but it's just, again, a logo element that will be used, various places. Is it going to be a real tattoo? No, it's going to be a temporary tattoo because we're medium core, right? So does that make sense? Like we don't drink coffee after 3 p.m. We only drink 3-2 beer. So, medium. Do you read palms? Exactly. Yeah, we can go with that. Sure. So, yeah, it's going to be fun. Let's go ahead and censor this text. Or how the kids say, the mid-core. But I do like the idea of even like starting with an M. And a lot of times, when you're designing a logo, you will start with sort of one of the letters, which is perfectly fine. Said this plenty, like a logo isn't picking a font, but I totally get when people want to start there, right? So we can start there, but like, what are we trying to do? We need to outline all of that first. Kino, good to have you here as well. Reverb Mark, you're hardcore. You're too hardcore for me, man. I can't do coffee 24/7. I will honestly say that I got 3 coffees this morning. So this is either going to be really awesome up until about noon, then I'm going to fall asleep. But again, we have this M, we have the C. We can lock things together, which is always fun, right? We can take this M, this C, and start to link them together. I'll do this really fast. Just color-wise, jumping in, changing that color. We'll shift that to, just some medium core colors. We have the M, we have the C, and then we can sort of play with that depth, which is really fun using intertwines. We'll go to make, and then we'll kind of come in here. And you could outline, or if you just hover over that part of the letter and then click, it'll put it behind. You want to bring it back, click again, it puts it above. So that's just like one way of sort of doing a fun little intertwine in this case, if you want to. The nice thing about this is like, if I decide I want to change the font, I could change the font as I jump in here, like this C. And we're just going to see what happens because it's going to kind of jack with the, ooh, that's an awesome font. It's gonna mess with the variable font, the intertwine that I have going on. So. Anyways, so just playing with some things there. There's one idea. And again, we'll just kind of move on from there. Shall we? Click, click, boom. All right. So, but still, like, when we're talking about like something that's like medium core, just did a quick little type lockup. I like the idea of taking a thick letter, and oftentimes I'll use like I use Helvetica Neue a lot. I'll use a variable, like this variable concept font. I like it because it has all these different weights. So weight, width, and slant. So I can come in here and just like really kind of get this customized if I want to, if I feel like this is going the right way. But the fact that I have all this control, you know, is awfully nice. So yeah, we'll go with something like that. Make that a little thicker and just play with it some more. Because really what I want to do, this is an electric bike gang. So obviously when we think of electricity, we think of like, I think of lightning bolts, right? So we can come in here, we can create a fun lightning bolt. Let's just go bup, bup. Maybe remove that point right there, and maybe take this point here and bring it in. Take these two. Do we want to align those? No, we don't. I'm trying to think of what lightning bolts even look like. I was going to do something kind of like this, but it needs to go down again. It needs to go up and down, and so bear with me as I work on this lightning bolt, okay? It should go up and then down. All right, so let's do this. I'm just thinking through this. So here's the, again, just one option. But let's go through this again. Here we have these two shapes. Exactly what I just did before, like that. We'll offset them. I think it makes more sense if I do them horizontally for some reason. Get rid of that point. We know the thickness is the same here, so it should shift down like this. And then we'll adjust the angle like of this end right here. And then we'll take this and move it in a little bit. You know, I think a key thing is just kind of make sure these two are kind of at the same angle, and there's our sort of a lightning bolt. All right, you guys get the idea. There's our lightning bolt. Another thing you guys can do you use this? Doris, what's up? Down with the thickness. See, reverb mics, man, what is that song? That is a good question. But here's our thunderbolt. So what I was thinking, or lightning bolt, is take this M, create outlines, and we could kind of start to manipulate this a little bit more. So maybe what we can do. I actually don't use shear that much. Okay, let's try the free transform tool. We'll jump in, sort of take these points and push that back, right? It's kind of pushing that back in perspective. We'll go back in here, we'll select this. So I use the perspective distort in Illustrator. I'll now click to free transform, and we'll kind of shrink this up like that. So I kind of want something like that. So that just looks better. And then I will have this to match. So we'll take that. We're going to do something like that. Medium core, baby. So, Disturbed, is that who it is? Oh, Annika, you might be right. Disturbed. Might be a little too hardcore for a medium core gang. So medium core would be more like Fallout Boy, My Chemical Romance, maybe, right? Just very poppy rock is what I'm thinking. Command Y, we can just view the outlines and then select these parts. I don't know if you guys do that. I do it. Come in here, just allow you to select those two parts, and we can kind of move that down if we want to. Keeping an eye on these little guys, like what are those all about? We'll get rid of those. Pa, shaba, kita. Bring it back. There's our M. So yeah, is that the sort of music we'd listen to? some Fallout Boy. I don't know who else. Who else? Who else is like kind of thinks they're rock and roll, but kind of isn't rock and roll? That's what I'm thinking about. Now, same situation here, because I want to give it that same perspective that I had. So I can still jump in and use the free transform. Here's our perspective tool. Did I even select it? Yes. Grab it down here and sort of scale it up. Right, just make it look a little bit more dramatic. That's all I'm doing. Is this working? I don't know, jump out. We'll tweak this some more, and let's just get to work. My songs know what you did in the dark. That sounds like Fallout Boy, for sure. All right. You know, I'm really just like going for simplicity here. First off, Shift C will select the direct anchor point, and I'll come in. There's a little bit of curve to each one of these, and that's what I want. I want these hard edges. So I'm just clicking on each one of these with the direct selection to get rid of those like slight Bezier curves. So that being done, we can again just make the see. There it is again. And in fact, let me change the color of this really fast. Jump in here. Dark blue might be easier to see. Maybe, might be too dark. Let's go in here again. Let's change this to orange. Maybe we'll go with orange. So I'm not seeing those lines. I mean, I want to make sure you guys are. So right in there, we can see that. That's the piece that's kind of screwed up. Again, Shift C, click, done. And let's just tweak this to death, shall we? Why not? That. This should go out further. Oops. We'll ungroup this. And this is only the beginning, so like, am I spending too much time on this when it might not even be like sort of the right direction that I want to go for this logo? And again, that's up for you guys to help me decide if you don't mind. All right, we'll bring this up. Like so. Scale it up. There we go. Cool. Let's flip it, shall we? Let's do this. Let's just be rebellious. Ka-cha! Delete all of that. Take all of this. Group it. Move it. Flip it using reflect, and there's just like sort of the start of one idea in M. Kind of is looking like a V now, so we kind of have an issue there, don't we? Let's grab a couple of these. Let's make sure we ungroup this. I'm going to start bringing some of these shapes together, so using Pathfinder and cleaning it up a little. But this is our life in Illustrator, isn't it? Yeah, just cleaning up all these little points. And let's see what happens if I can bring this more to a point and if that's going to break it. So I don't know if you guys' artboards are like this. I'll take a lot of these, you know, graphics and start duplicating it. And if you're anything like me, your artboards probably get really ugly. Okay, medium core. So that might be our M. We're just playing with things. Eduardo, I just read your comment. Metallica. Metallica, is that good? I want something softer than Metallica. I'm thinking of a lot of 80s bands like Warrant. Warrant is like, or Bon Jovi is the perfect like medium core. Metallica is way too hard. Warrant, Firehouse, Trickster, like what's Ugly Kid Joe? Do anybody know these names? But there's our M. So yeah, medium core. again, just starting out, getting the juices flowing, kind of into it. I start to see other shapes in here. I start to see like, horns. Is that good? Would that be cool? Is this one working? Not at all. So let's get rid of it. And again, let's, we might have a sort of word mark like we see here. We could put this in a sphere. And flip this around, crank this up. We could do something like this. Maybe that will work. Maybe we're losing the fact that it's an M, but just slapping that in there. Anytime you add ancillary elements, like keep in mind the size, right? So we want to make sure the thickness here is the same as the thickness of the line around it. Okay, so it is going okay. Let's send that to the back. Let's select these elements. And you know what? Heck with it. Okay, so I want to group all these elements. I actually want to make it one complete shape, but I want to keep all the little vectors in here. So, oh, thank you, Jose says poison. Another good example. Not quite hardcore. You're using way too much hairspray to be that hardcore, right? We're medium core, buddy. So right in here, it says right in here, if you Alt and click or Option click on that Unite tool, then it will keep all of those vector paths. Because what I want to do is I actually just want to throw in a little white around it, as you can see, right? We want some of that. But we also want to make sure that that stroke is on the outside. So let's go in here and make sure it's that way. In fact, you know what? I'm going to be a rebel because I am medium core. Let's undo that. I'm a rebel, guys. Shada. Shabam. Bata. Line is too thick. Let's go to the stroke. Outside of it. Take that down. So I just needed some of that breaking the border. That's all I'm doing. All right, let's move on. That's Frank, good question. Would introducing some rounded element in the mix feel too soft? I'm glad you brought that up. Like, what's the point of this circle in the first place? Like, what does it add? Which is a total valid question. A lot of times these circles get added to sort of contain an element if things feel like they're floating around a lot, or to give it more presence if it's going to be in a smaller space. And a lot of people, well, if you're talking about it like a brand for a corporation, you also have to think about what does my logo look like next to other logos in that space. So which one's going to stand out more is another way I'd look at it. So yes, is it too soft? Does it need to be grounded by a shape around it? And does that shape give it more volume, sort of on the store shelf? So glad we're thinking of this. But I like this. I want to do some more. I want to do the full word art. I want to add, I want to just have some fun if you guys don't mind. Okay, because again, we have that M. We're thinking electric bike. By the way, do you guys use this? Do you guys use Noun Project? I'm curious. Designers out there, Unicorn, Rick, what's up? Good to see you, Sean. Tell me, do you guys so here I just do lightning. Do I even know how to spell? That's how I spell, right? So lightning, that's what I want to check out. What do thunderbolts look like? I don't even know. Are these thunderbolts or are they lightning bolts? They should be lightning bolts. But we'll drop that in here. And, could this be an element? But this is just a way to quickly, take a basic shape that I already just made. Say, hey, what other iterations of it do we have that we could potentially use? So here's one I made. Hey, I could have just dropped that right in there as well. Doesn't really matter. I really like this. I kind of actually like this element. This tends to say a little bit more electric than natural thunderbolt. So I really like this. We could take this, in fact, I'm kind of inspired by this. Could we split it apart? Could we like split this? Actually, let's just do this. Cut it, cut it, cut it. Get it. There we go. Shape, wait for it. Hold on. I don't know if this is going to work or not. I'm not even sure if those are exactly the same. Bear with me, folks. This is our life in Illustrator. Okay, let's take that. I was thinking of splitting this up, and then can you turn this into like an M, is what I was thinking. And the answer is I don't know. All right, we tried it, didn't work. At least I don't want to spend like a ton of time on it. But you know, we're starting to resemble an M. You see that M there? So I was splitting up sort of this lightning and you know, making an M out of it. So you guys see the M in the negative space, which is not a bad. That's not a bad deal. I'm actually, you know, it's kind of growing on me, but it's pretty obscure. So there that is. We'll group it. We'll throw it over here. Again, we're making logos, and I appreciate you guys hanging out with me today. Circle can be clipped a little on the right to represent a C also. Slow clap. I love it. JP009. Put your real name in there, man, and your address. No, just joking. But let me know your real name, because I want to be able to connect with you on a personal level and say thank you, because that is just such a good call, and that's why you guys are amazing. Man, that's what community is all about. Like, could we do that? So let's try that. Just thinking through things in my head. Okay, so I have this ability. So what I just did is I drew out a circle, and I'm thinking, can I give this circle some flexibility? So I just copied this, or excuse me, I just made this circle. In your circle, you have this ability to adjust either side. But I want to make this a C and not a Pac-Man. So copy, paste on top, shrink it down a touch. This one's a different color, so we're going to change it to white. So that's a white version, but basically like gray, just to kind of give you an idea. But now we have this shape, and we just like have a little bit more control over how far that curve goes. So when you're talking about making a C, we just have a lot of flexibility at this point. Let's take that. Let's get rid of this. Sucker, get out of here. Take this. We'll try this. You know, and again, it might not work. But that is why we're here, making logos. There we have that. And like I said, the thickness needs to be the same, but since that's a shape over the top, I can kind of shrink that down and get that to the right point I need it to be at, which might be right there. Still have this issue. That sucks. There we go, Paul. Meet Paul. What's up, Paul? Man, why are you hiding such a lovely name? Yeah, nice to meet ya. I love it. So, what do you guys think of this? Aside from these little points, you know, it's starting to read CM, but you know, that's interesting. Thoughts? We'll keep it. You know what? This is one of those things when I'm like, if I'm undecided, I will just save it and come back to it later. But I'm really into this idea. I just think it's cool. So well done, you guys. This might be it. All right, so there's our medium core. Again, we're gonna try to make miracles happen today. That's what the M is also for, miracles. And let's do something even more fun. Type tool, medium, because I want to have that type out those words, and I want to do like medium core. This is what I want to do. I want to take medium core, and I want to grab like a skull. Skull. Like maybe this is our skull. Sticking this up. The thing is, this is medium core, so you know, this, instead of it being let's just oh, maybe these are separate paths already. Oh, I love it. Separate paths. Boom, boom. We'll make these a little larger. And since this is medium core, I'm having a, yeah. Select is we will put a little bridge right here. So we're going to turn these into glasses. Like that. So there we go. Medium core is like just nerdy glasses. So that's the idea. Or braces. Again, we're not hardcore. We're just, you know, trying to do our best. But that's another thing I'd throw on there. So let's just try this really fast. So like, you know, there we go. Just a thought. All right, we got that. We got that going on. Let's go ahead and bend this. Let's get some sharper edges in here too. Like, I'm just gonna kind of play with some of these fonts. Just see what we get. Also, in fact, we can find more fonts, and I really wish I could jump out. I'm seeing if there, just seeing if there's a way to jump directly out to fonts.adobe.com. So I thought there was a button in here. Maybe there isn't. Either way, fonts.adobe.com. Because I want to be able to see this much better. Let's go here, fonts. That's fun. Sorry about that. I got to sign out and sign it back in. All right. Looks like an electrician's logo. Hey, you're probably right. It's too clean. It's too corporate. I could see that. Anyways, got to log into this other account because I got multiple things going on. But I do want to get some cool fonts in here. And going to fonts.adobe.com is just going to give me just an easier interface for working with fonts. All right, because what do we have? We got these lovely tags over here. This is where I might try something like black letter. Might be kind of cool. What we'll do right in here, we'll type in medium. And then we'll take a look. See, look at this. Checking it out. Cheers, everyone. Yeah, like, this is kind of what I'm looking for. Flesh. So So we'll activate that. Again, it says Dungeon Master. This is kind of totally like, I could totally work. So that's synced. It's called Flesh. We'll go in here, save these two, and let's just again see what we get. FLE Flesh. So anyway, still experimenting. You know, we have these, you know, there's no hard angles. So these two don't match. We'll worry about that later. But what we'll do now is we'll jump in and start to distort this. So we can go into make with warp. And we'll kind of warp this around, shall we? Let's do arc lower, and we'll bend it. Kind of want to bend it like that. Bend it to the sort of like -30. And then we'll click OK. And then we'll just kind of stretch that out. So that's what we want. We want medium core. Same thing for this side. Make with warp. And then we want to arc upper. And, you know, still play with that all we want. But something kind of like that. And we'll get a different skull too, by the way, because this works well for this design, but not for the kind of the way this is headed. So, you know what this looks like too? This is fun because this is starting to look like lightning bolts. So let's come over here and let's grab some of these cool lightning bolts. Paste them in. You know, we're gonna do like, maybe we'll keep that way. And then do a flip. Medium core, buddy. All right. We got all these sharp angles, all that fun stuff. Okay, so what did the D almost looks like an O, not a definitive choice. Okay. Yes, Peter, like Motorcycle Club is what I'm going for. I'm sorry if I missed other comments. Let me see if I can scroll up. Thank you, Clever Devlin. Medium core is like using the elevator instead of tossing a drum kit down the staircase. And I love. Let's try to find a hardcore skull and give it glasses or something. Like it needs a helmet. Like a skull with a helmet is kind of a great way to go too. Yeah, and then we'll play with this. And by the way, like what I would do is I would jump out to, you know, Pinterest, you know, Behance, things like that, and I would just like start to look at, you know, let's look at Motor Club design logo. Let's do that. Let's just see what happens. Motorcycle Club logo. And this is just out on Google. And we can see kind of those elements. So this is super fun. Love all the colors. I love this banner, so that's super cool. Yeah. So again, just getting inspired out here. Too hardcore, but I love this. I love this banner idea. Like that's pretty cool. The logo should be more spooky. Yeah, let's make it more spooky. This needs a skull and flames and wings. Of course, wings, because again, you're flying, right? You're in these electric bikes. So it's an electric bike gang, okay? All right, so where are we at? You know what? I've already thought ahead, because that's actually, I already have some logos, or excuse me, some skulls and things like that. So let's just take this. For the sake of time, because I'm already 34 minutes in, and let's just see how, say, this one looks. And we could talk about kind of the situation you have going on here. So I just introduced a new design element that like has so much more detail than the letters itself. So you need to match. I think you need to match these two. And what that means to me is sort of taking this text, for instance, and giving it an outline. So we go to the appearance panel. We could, make sure we have our black fill. We'll have a stroke. This is how I would do it, by the way. Appearance panel is your best friend in Illustrator. Can we agree, other Paul? And everyone. Black Rebel Motorcycle Club. Oh, yeah, that's hardcore. I just like contrasts. I think contrasts are fun. Like, taking something that, like, if this was I want a hardcore knitting club. That's what I want. And I want this to look like it's knit. Ugh, right? I just love those contrasts of, even with people, like, just showing diversity is so much fun. Just people that have those interests. So see what I'm doing there? I'm just adding a couple lines. The thickness of that white, so there's the white, so that's kind of cutting into it, but we're getting that feel that we're looking for. We'll increase that. There we go. Okay, we'll take this right here. Let's just go ahead and see what happens. Whole lot of nothing. Okay, appearance panel. So I have this made. I thought I could just sample this text. It doesn't quite, it already is the same text. What I can do is I could put this in my graphic styles. Let's add it to my graphic styles. Then I'll go down here to core and I'll click on that graphic style and I've added it. So there that is. Starting to match a little bit more. Even for these thunderbolts, we do the same thing. Make it match, make it match. Tesla skull. Oh yeah, you would join us, a hardcore knitting club. Oh, so much fun. Can I just do this really fast? Because I just like, I probably need to log in. Oh no, I'm already logged in. Let's do this. Let's do highly detailed knit skull on a neutral gray background. Just for inspiration, shall we? Let's see what we get. This is a knit skull, so there we go. There's our knit skull. That's what I'm talking about. Make it, I think it should be colorful. Knit skull. Let's see what we get again. Thank you, Frank. You're right on it. I just saw your comment. And by the way, let's just look at this. Oh yeah. So again, it's kind of hardcore, but it's like grandma. It's like grandma core. Is that a thing? I think it should be a thing. Grandma core. Look at those teeth. I just love the idea of like this is so cool. So this will be part of our branding. Super fun, just to get inspiration. And I agree with Frank, 100%. This is, we're just getting to the hardcore point. We'll make it medium core, right? We need to introduce all those elements. And I need your help too. Like what I'm thinking for medium core to take it down that road is, case for say braces. It's like, do we just draw, do we give this, skull braces, just because that's funny. Does anybody ever have braces or have braces now? I had them on my bottom teeth when I was a kid. Let's take that, drop that in. And then we need the little, and again, we'll see this sort of level of detail we can get. Maybe we can't get a lot. Hold on, wait for it. Appearance panel. Reduce to basic appearance. Move that over because it was actually using those same effects. But like, I don't know. Just still playing with this. Or like a retainer. But anyways, there that is. We'll just move this around. It might be too much detail for this, but you get the idea. We'll try lots of ideas, like some will work, some of them won't. Yep, so, boom, let's get in here. Get it, Paul, get it. Select it. Get those. Too thick. Take it down. Take it down a couple notches. And make it, thin it out on both sides. Take this. That looks good. Thin that one out. So, okay, so anyways, there we are. That's just hilarious. Again, fun, nerdy glasses, great idea. Helmet, great idea. This needs to have the, like maybe a banner. It needs a tagline. So it needs to say something like, riding safe since 08. We'll put a helmet. We could put a helmet on this this design. We'll do, you know, wear a helmet. This is what we do. We do something like this. Bear with me, everybody. Let's change the font. I have a good idea. Let's do, maybe this font will work. We'll do, we need more to add here, but I want to have like, wear a helmet, call your mom, right? So that's the idea. And this one still isn't bad. Let's move that over. Wear a helmet, call your mom. Safe to the bone. Love it. Born to, love it. I see you there, Penny. Born to be mild. Safe to the bone. You guys get the spirit. I love it. Let me just fix. It's okay. Born to be mild. Okay. Born to be mild. Cool. Be kind, rewind into it. So yeah, these need some banners or some bars on it. Like I should have some of those. In fact, if I go into my brushes, I kind of already have some of these elements that I might use, at least as a starting point. But, you know, here's just some brushes that I've made in the past. So you draw out this curve. Super easy to work with. In fact, we can go in here. I'll double click on it. We'll change. The key color is, let's do tints and shades. There we go. So we've used tints and shades. We'll tint it since it's black. It makes it gray. Okay, that's all I'm doing there. But this is also something I learned about brushes, which I probably learned like last year, if you just drag it out, the actual brush, now you get all the elements that make up this brush. I never knew you could just drop it out there and now you get sort of the original elements. That just blew me away. I'm like, wait, that just happened? So thank you for whoever told me that or taught me that. Lifesaver. So yeah, for this, let's just play with it. We need this. That needs to be black. Let's do this. And these two will also be black. Wait for it. Oh, keeping track of the time. Ungroup. Let's get a fun line in there. We need lines right here. These. It needs to be on the inside. Properties. Stroke. Inside line. Kind of like that. So there's our black and white version. I would probably put some little lines in here just to make it look cool. Like maybe it needs an added little element. Something like that. But anyways, I'm getting too lost in the details and I only have like 8 minutes left. So let's just do this. Let's get this. Yeah. Let's bring it back in there, right? Bam. An art brush. Okay, so it's just going to stretch it. We're done. Boom. All right. We have our brush. Let's go back up here. We have these elements. Let's click on a new brush. So there that is. A lot of work for maybe a little payoff, but you know, we have this sort of flexibility to make this any length we want. We'll send it to the back. We'll make sure that it's on a different layer too. Shut up. Hurry. Get there. Let's do Born to Be Mild. And yeah, maybe we'll bend it a little. What's best for making t-shirts? Illustrator, Photoshop. I'd probably say Illustrator because you're joining an Illustrator stream, but also because that's objectively you're going to have cleaner lines. So, great question. And yeah, that's what I would say. Cleaner lines. Call your mom, people. She misses you. Look at that. Let's group it. Maybe push it right under there. I don't know. Guys, I'm learning as I go along here too. But I want to have this like, it just all needs to be a little tighter like that. Bring this to the front. Maybe even a little larger, right? We can play with that. And of course, this situation going on right here. Hey, you know what? Let's use Live Paint Bucket. Throw some white. Click. There we go. That works out fine for me. We did lose the braces. Bring them back. Send that back. Move this. Oh, you know what? I moved everything up. And yeah, that's something that happened. Okay, wait for it, people. Group X. There's the stuff. There's the braces. And there's that. Oh, even for this, you know what? I think that needs to be underneath the head. So let's paste all that all on the same layer. Do you guys work on one layer? I'm kind of curious. Do you work on one layer? There we go. That's what I want. So that's kind of on top. Maybe this could be underneath. Send it to the back. And we're looking pretty good. Safe to the bone. Born to be mild. Call your mom. What else? What else? With a bicycle helmet. You're right, Frank. I need to get a bicycle helmet on this guy. Because you can't say safe to the bone or born to be mild without having a helmet. So this is where I'd have to design a helmet and throw it on. So let's hurry up and do it. Let's get it going. Right, what do we do? Make an ellipse. Make our helmet. I'm probably not going to get this done in time. But let's see what we could do. Right, it just needs so much work. It needs so much work, guys. I'm not going to get this done in time. Yeah. Yeah, it just needs a lot of work. Needs a visor, all those things. So, but you can kind of see where this is headed. Maybe even right there needs to be maybe some sort of symbol on the helmet too, or maybe a stripe or something would be nice. But just to kind of have something, yeah. What's another? I've had the most fun with these phrases, by the way, and disregard this. I mean, this helmet's really bothering me now. But I've had a lot of fun just with you guys telling me these all these sort of fun phrases. Something else that like we need to do as adults, like change your air, like kind of like change your air filter, those sort of things. Like I don't know, what are like the maintenance stuff, like mow your lawn, things like that. So, anyways. Get there, Paul. Hurry, Paul. Hurry. Down to my last couple minutes. Today is joining me for Design Masterclass. T. White's going to be up next. Terry White's will be on the stream kind of doing his thing. I think he's talking about Photoshop. Yeah, just look below me. Hopefully you're joining me on Behance, but I'm also reading the chat on YouTube as well. But so anyways, you guys get the idea. Needs all those lines, you get the idea. How are we doing, everyone? Stick around for T. White. He's going to be up next. But overall, I think I'm like pretty proud of this. Like even as we take a look, let me try to highlight everything. We kind of started over here with all these logos. Did a pretty good job. I really like this M right here. This one's pretty strong, and this one's pretty strong. So those two are pretty awesome. I kind of like this one though. Yeah, and then we kind of ended up with this design. So well done, everybody. Call your mom, huh? Born to be mild. Super fun. Feed your cat. Like all these little reminders, like don't forget to take your shoes off before you come inside if you're that type of household or whatever. So yeah, so thank you, Frank. Can't expect people to read this on small. Of course, yeah. I mean, this is more of a large design for like a T-shirt. And then we'll have our little word mark as well. But good call. I mean, this was just fun to make. We started out with a word mark and ended up with a huge sort of illustration driving home the brand, which I think, again, was like super fun. So, yeah. That's all I have. I would probably, I'd still spend more time on this, doing a ton of things, but I would probably give it. I like if it was in a circle, so that's something I would think about doing. It's like giving it more of a circle emblem, like a patch that would be on your shoulder and that sort of thing. So, but thanks for hanging out with me, guys. You guys have been awesome. Really, just appreciate you guys hanging out with me here in the wonderful studio in San Francisco. Remember, go medium. Go medium, guys. Appreciate you. Stick around for Terry White's going to be up next. And thank you so much, everybody.